Hello, loves. It's Hills from the Blue Flame Apothecary. And today we're going to talk about the equinox. The September equinox is happening on the 22nd here on the Pacific Coast, California, in the United States. And it is big. We talked about the 2020 solstice, the December solstice. That was a big shift. And ever since, I mean, we had a lot of shifts moving us into the energies of that Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. This particular equinox feels like we're being gifted an opportunity to really start to balance those energies inside of us. Equinoxes are about balance, and the Libra equinox in particular is about balance. It's also about communication. I've been talking, and lots of people are talking about the Mars Gemini transit that's happening, and Mars is in its pre-retrograde shadow. It's going to go retrograde at the end of October, and we're currently traveling through all of the space in Gemini that come October through January, Mars is going to be moving internally through, backwards through. I've talked quite a bit about that, and I will continue to talk quite a bit about that because it feels like the way that we're going to help process our relationship to power and the way we think about power, the way we express power. And Gemini is about communication and expression, and Mars is about power, and it can be war, it can be lots of different energies. However, right here, right now, where I am feeling called is to talk about some of the stuff that's actually happening on the day of the equinox. Part of that is big energetic templating with the blue flame. And I'm going to circle us into that through some astrology. Let's feel for a minute here, because there's so much happening. I talked in the last update, I talked a little bit about the cardinal grand cross that's started moving into alignment on the full moon and is going to continue through the entire month of September. I'll put a link below and end cap this video with that, so that if you want to explore those frequencies, you can. There's something else happening on the day of the equinox, though, that's huge. It actually happened the last time on that 2020 solstice in December. And that's that the asteroids named after Isis, Osiris, and Horus are all conjunct. They're conjunct in Leo, and they're also conjunct the moon, which will be in the starting point of its dark moon phase. We'll probably not be able to see it in the sky anymore as it's coming into the new moon on the 25th. It's also conjunct Lilith's asteroid. This is a big templating for rebirthing, for feeling into the transformative power of creation, for transforming our relationship to creation. Isis's template is that divine mother who can literally put you back together from your fractured self. And Osiris is that who was fractured and put back together. And they are right next to each other in creative self-worth, kind of sense of self, Leo. So there's this really strong templating for reforming your sense of self and birthing the new, Horus. Finding that two aspects of self, reforming yourself through that in order to bring forward the new, a new sense of self. In addition, Medusa is dancing atop the galactic center once again, exactly on the equinox. The last time this happened was back in early June, late May, and I spoke quite a bit about that. Again, I will put a link below for the Reclaiming You update that I did back then. They are exactly trying this conjunction. So Isis, Lilith's asteroid, so her physical aspect, the physical beingness that Lilith represents. Osiris, the moon, and Horus are all in Leo, exactly trine to Medusa and Mary Magdalene's asteroid, Magdalena, and the galactic center. When we feel into the energy of the galactic center, we're going to go into it through this. The galactic center is a bright light with a black hole in the center of it, around which our entire galaxy spins. It is the void and that which emerges from the void, the light. It could also be looked at in terms of the birth canal and what happens as the infant comes out of the birth canal. The first thing it sees is this bright light, and that is the whole of creation for that moment anyways. It is the new sense of self, the new beingness in a very direct way in the case of an infant being born. Which again brings us into this amazing templating that's on offer on this equinox of going deep within. You know, we still have a lot of Neptune energy on this equinox, and this whole year, Neptune's been really loud. That cardinal grand cross has Neptune in it. Actually, that's the mutable grand cross. I'm sorry. Neptune's in Pisces. We know that. And the full moon was conjunct Neptune. So there's this really fun, like the moon has come around into Leo now. And it's not quite all the way opposite Neptune. They're in conjunct now. We are bringing forward a new way of being in this equinox. We're being gifted an opportunity to evaluate our communication and the way we communicate with ourselves and with others. And we're going into the blue flame now. I can feel it. I've talked about the blue flame, and I have a playlist that I've created that has a bunch of different videos where I talked about the blue flame. And I'm going to be hosting an Equinox event in the Blue Flame members portal on Patreon. And I'll put a link below for that as well. It would be amazing if you wanted to join, and I'll have lots more information about it. But right here, right now, what I will share is the last time the Medusa was dancing upon the galactic center. I went up to this Earth Gaia formation called Twin Peaks here in San Francisco. I felt very called to work with this very potent sacred site portal for the last couple of years, and I had this sense of it being the geomantic center of San Francisco for all of this time, but I couldn't find any information confirming that. On this day, the Medusa back in, I think it was the Aquarius, if I remember correctly, we found I was up there and there was actually a boulder. And I ran to the boulder because I knew what I was going to find there. And it was a little plaque and it said Geographic Center of San Francisco. I was like, yes, exactly. And I had a time with Medusa and the center. Well, over the last couple of months, I've gotten a lot more clarity that this is one of the etheric anchor points for the blue flame coming into the earth plane. Each and every one of us holds a spark of this divine love inside the deepest chamber of our hearts. Part of what's happening, this is the channeling that I've received about the blue flame, part of what's being offered, what's opening up through the thinning of the veils over the Virgo. Sorry. I start talking about the blue flame and I get a little bit like it's hard to put words. Over the Virgo new moon and over this past Pisces new moon, full moon, is this opening up of the blue flame energy. This like massive expansion. Like I said, words are really hard when I start talking about blue flame. We're gonna take a couple of breaths into our heart center. That's how we're gonna, because that's part of what we're being called to over this equinox portal. For some who are here contracted with an agreement to help anchor this divine love onto the earth plane that haven't had that activated within them yet, this equinox is going to set off a little like buzzing alarm clock and start to bring the energies opening up. For those who have started to hear the call, it's going to wake you up a little bit more, like jumping into the shower after you wake up and the water kind of hitting you and alivening you. I keep thinking of those Irish Spring commercials from the 80s. Now I'm awake. Or for me, lately I've been going up and doing these walks before sunrise and watching the sunrise on Vernal. And when the alarm goes off at 5 in the morning, I am not awake. No. But by the time I get up to Vernal, I am wide awake and so full of energy. And that's kind of what is coming in on this equinox. If you've already started to wake up to the remembrance of the blue flame that you're here to help work with. Each one of us is wholly unique. Our entire system, our light body, the way we hold and carry light and the way we express it in the world is wholly unique. And so the way in which you will be called to help expand this divine love, to help it flow across the planet, through the planet, and help aliven and heal separation and disconnection, will be unique to yourself. However, if you feel called to commune with a group of people who are very active in this anchoring at this moment in time, you can come over to the Blue Flame portal and journey through the equinox with us. Yesterday, I posted a 33-second long meditation, expanding love and expanding the ability to receive love with some ocean waves. If you feel called to spend 33 seconds or maybe longer, put it on a loop. For me yesterday, it was a song that I kept singing. And now it's morphed into, I continue to expand my ability to love. And I continue to expand my ability to receive love. What I can share about the blue flame is that unlike the violet flame, if you're familiar with that, it's not about purification. It's almost as if the violet flame came in to help set the table so that the blue flame could rise up within those of us who've brought it forth. There's so much more astrology, and I'm all over the place. I'm really sorry. I'm just really excited. There is, it was because Sirius was coming in. I couldn't hold because Sirius was like, but it's the blue flame. Let me talk. So let's talk about Sirius. Sirius is on this equinox going to be square, exactly square to Chiron. Sirius is going to be in an exact trine to the south node and an exact sextile to the reverse that. Sirius is going to be in an exact trine to the south node and an exact sextile to the north node. Sirius is kind of the current galactic home base for the blue flame, would be one way. It's the stellar dimension that holds the Isis line, the rose line. Christ consciousness line is another way to feel into that. Part of the anchoring of the blue flame is also to help spread this divine love across the planet, to help bring in these abilities to create that we have, to create from love. One way that we can feel into this is that for a very, very long time here on the earthly plane, we have had a template of kind of fear and separation. And we are elevating through that now. And some are having a harder time for whatever reason, and there's no judgment. Some came in with a more open system, perhaps because they are walk-ins and they resonate to higher dimensional frequencies. It feels really important to also say there is no this frequency, this dimension is better than that dimension, and fuck the second dimension or whatever. We need them all. This is basically what I'm trying to say. We need all of your light. I keep almost bursting into tears today. And it's not, some of it's releasing of grief, and that's part of opening up to love more. but most of it is little things like a sign about a neighborhood pickup and gardening community event on one of the hillsides here in San Francisco. And I'm just like, yes, this is it. This is part of it. Each and every one of us getting that, like, I need to organize a healing community event. And whatever that community event is it picking up trash in your neighborhood? Is it sitting on the center of the center and meditating and expanding love out energetically? Is it volunteering at a homeless shelter or at a school, teaching art to kids? Whatever it is, it's that's part of the blue flame anchoring, as well as when you hear that message, like, oh, I feel very strongly that I can help spread light in this way, in this place, in this time, in this moment, whatever that might look like. And to hear that voice and say, all right, let me go do it. Let me go do it. Let me find this next pebble on the stone path so that I can pick it up and say, okay, that I can do. That I can do. I can feel myself wanting to go so deep into the astrology of this equinox because there's so much happening. There's so much happening. I can feel myself wanting to share every single thing that I've ever downloaded about the blue flame. And we'll do some of that. We'll do some of that in the members portal. There's also a blue flame frequency program that I recorded back at around the time of the Aries new moon that is in the portal also. The event itself is going to be an all-day energetic dance that we do. Some of it will be live and in person, and some of it will be pre-recorded meditations and oracle card reading transmission. I will be doing energetic work at Twin Peaks and at Vernal in the sunrise and sunset, and calling everyone into that as well. There's no wrong way to answer this call. There's no wrong way to answer this call, except for to not answer it. I mean, and that's, you have free will. If you're hearing the call of the blue flame and you're like, yeah, I'm not ready for that, awesome. That's allowed. But Kali is very strong on the equinox as well. Kali is dancing over Algol. And if you're trying to avoid the truth or trying to avoid your destiny, something's probably going to get a little uncomfortable. That's what Kali does. With deep, deep love, she says, yeah, you need to go over here. But sometimes it can be a little painful. So if it's the members portal and joining with us, amazing. If it's going and swimming in the ocean or building a big bonfire in your backyard or gardening or teaching art or singing and dancing naked, whatever it is, if the call is coming in, let the blue flame, this divine love flow from you. We call it the blue flame because that's how it presents to us. Flames alchemically, The fire resonates to your sense of self, and it's a purifying agent. And part of what, like the violet flame, helps to clear out and purify in that more like mental body realm, intuition, karmic holdings. The blue flame is more associated with the emotional body. It helps to cleanse the fractures of your emotional body so that you can hold more love, and so that you can radiate more love out. So that could be a way to meditate with the blue flame, is as a flame, it's also water. The alchemical marriage between water and fire. With flowing blue liquid light, and with so much love and gratitude from all the dimensions. Until next time, and I hope to see you on the equinox.